Hey everybody, we're going to do a smoke sesh this morning. One of the things I wanted to start with was we're not going to discuss politics, no drama, no BS. This is about smoking and about different strains, different smoke pieces, whatever you want to talk about related to cannabis. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to hang out here and see if anybody shows up.
So the only time that you could look at the man that you claim shot your friend was in that fraction of a second between turning to see who called Charlie Johnson.
But I did get a good look at him.
This jury of intelligent men believe that with 3 or 4 drinks in you, you get a flash look at a total stranger and you can come in this courtroom and truthfully testify that that is the man that killed your dear friend Charlie Johnson. Or
This is a bowl of Gorilla Punch. Very fruity, very grapey. So far nobody's here, but it's just a couple minutes before 8, and we'll see if anybody does show up.
See what I can do for it.
but just moments ago you testified that you watched the assailant get to his car, get in and just drive off. Now which did you do?
I guess I did both.
I guess. So while your dear friend was bleeding to death, you stood there watching his assailant make his get away. Maybe Charlie Johnson wasn't such a good friend of yours that you would have this jury believe.
We were close. Very close.
Close enough to talk man to man? Close enough to talk about your women?
Well, sometimes.
You'd exchange a few names, a few phone numbers, close friends do from time to time.
Well, that's a record, so.
Were you such a close friend that he told you exactly how he raped and murdered Agnes Reardon?
Objection. The question is irrelevant and immaterial. Your Honor, we are not here to try the case of People versus Johnson as much as Mr. Boyd would like. We are here to decide the case of People versus Reardon. Anything else is irrelevant.
Your Honor, in his opening, the prosecutor made it very clear that intent is crucial in this crime. Therefore, I feel I have every right to explore the question of intent in all its aspects, and that includes the rape and murder of Agnes Reardon. I have every right to explore the question of intent in all its aspects, and that includes the rape and murder of Agnes Reardon.
The prosecution's objection.
Hey, we got a couple people in here. What's going on? Anybody want to talk to me today? We're talking about smoke stuff. We got a couple people in here. What's going on? Anybody? So if there's anybody around, let's talk.
The council may regain his composure. We will stand in recess until 1:30.
How crucial was that question is just by ruled out?
Will it affect the rest of your case? No
Mr.
comment.
Garcia, the benefit of the viewing audience, would you come up now and explain the legal consequences?
No comment, please.
Come on, let's go find proof.
I asked you not to come.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just going to stay away.
What about the office?
The person there doesn't make the market go up and down. I was hoping my presence here might help. Are you going to get another chance to get Charlie Johnson on trial?
One last shot, that's all.
Good smoke.
Did you make a record of the defendant's confession? Yes, I did. I have here now a videotape recording of the defendant's confession, which the people now offer into evidence. Your Honor, may the technicians bring in the equipment?
Yes, Counsel.
Thank you.
One night she's on her way home.
Yep, I'm just waiting to see if anybody's going to show up today. I don't know, maybe somebody will show up. We'll see. We're just going to hang out for a while.
lawyer, which is what she was doing when it happened. There was this night. Oh, just take your time, Mr. Reed. You can take as much time as you need. Well, night classes don't get out until after 9. So it was dark when she was crossing City Hall Park on her way to get the subway. And he grabbed her. Months later, we get a call from the detective on the case. Come down to the courthouse. But there isn't any trial, just a hearing. And there's a lot of argument back and forth between the young district attorney and this Judge Lengo. Judge Lengo just bangs his gavel, and he says, "Clear the courtroom." And just like that, it's all over. This murderer is walking out of the courtroom a free man. And he's laughing, doing it at home. But from that day on, she started failing. Lost the will to live. Just about an hour ago, I found Charlie Johnson, and I killed him. And now I want to be tried. It's more important than ever that you put me on that stand. Why? Because there's certain things I wanted to say in that confession, and I never got to say them. You admitted intent. That's all that was missing from your case, and you just gave them that. And I told that your confession was the last thing that jury remembered.
Right? Gentlemen, it's almost 4 o'clock. I think we should adjourn for the day.
Your Honor, before we adjourn, I would like to ask Mr. Kareem to resume the stand.
Well, we'll see if anybody shows up. We're just going to hang out for a little while and see if anybody wakes up and wants to party a little bit today.
Back in order.
I can wait.
All right, Mr. Gordon. But unless you can finish by 4 o'clock, we can start.
4 or 5, Your Honor.
Mr. Gordon. Yeah. Pick the coat. I said, pick the coat.
Oh, the literary much picture. Yeah, we got you in a comic, don't they? If you don't mind.
Brad, you don't mind my calling you Brad, do you? Brad, you're sitting on a gold mine.
Well, that confession alone is going to get my client 15 years to life.
No, the rights. The rights, you must get them. The literary rights to read the story, or a book, or a movie, or a minute. This is big, Brad, that's it.
Yeah? Okay.
Ballpark figure, I'd say about $400,000.
And what happens to that $400,000 when I lose this case?
I would raise the price to $500,000. After all, if you lose the case, what's the first thing you'll do?
Appeal. In a murder case, that's automatic.
Exactly. Which of course keeps the interest alive until a book comes up.
You don't understand, do you? Sorry.
Brad,
Wow,
don't
that's fucking,
no, so quickly.
it's good.
Think of the personal publicity that goes to the book, the radio and TV guest shows. Think what that could do for the career of a bright young lawyer.
I can't think about anything right now.
I've got to, Fred, trust me. I have done these deals before. Lots.
All right.
He said, Mr. Curl.
Well, everybody, we're here on Saturday. We're going to do a little bit of smoking. We're going to talk a little bit about cannabis today, different strains people are growing. I had an idea for a project. I want to know if somebody wants to try, or I might try it. We'll talk about that a little bit later, too.
You know that I've taken many.
So
And tell us, during all those confessions.
we'll just see if anybody, hey, Manny Mouth, what's going on, man? Just hanging out alone here. What you smoking on today, dude? Probably some of that Skywalker OG.
But he has a compulsion.
Gorilla Punch right now. First today. Yep, got some of that right here too. Yeah, it's got the Gorilla Glue flavor with that great purple grape flavor on top of it. Really tasty and great buzz, man. Knocks me on my ass every time. So what's this I hear about you got kicked into YouTube jail? I didn't hear anything about that, man. What's the story? You lost all your videos and shit? What happened, man? Oh, it's pretty tasty. It really is. So, yeah, man, I didn't know you were in YouTube jail. What happened, man? What the hell's the deal? What the hell them assholes doing now? Oh, fuck. Mm. Mm. Man, it's getting hotter. Last week I got put in YouTube jail for a week. They said it was because of my germination video having a link and had to remove the videos. But that same day I did a cannabis and conspiracy video, and that one got taken down. No one else emailed all about that one. Having a link, what's the big... Man, they're getting weird as shit. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, man. They're getting crazy. Did they take down all your videos, or are they back up again? That's crazy. That's just crazy. I don't know. I haven't read all the guidelines, so I'm sure I'm violating them all the time. I don't care. So far, I'm too small for them to notice me. So I'm just too small of a fry to anybody to worry about. Well, that's crazy, man. Oh, man. Oh, they're getting into they're trying to cut down all the conspiracy videos and stuff. Yeah, I'm sure the Biden administration probably doesn't want any of that stuff around for sure. Well, screw them. It's a shame that WeedTube doesn't get bigger. You know, it's so small, it's virtually non-existent for any real benefit. I put my videos on there, but, you know, I get like 6 or 7 views, and there's just not that many people on it. So, you know, it's one of those kind of things. There just isn't enough on there to make it worth it. Yeah, see, if you mention Biden, I got to be careful myself, man. We're under the Democratic regime now, man. I'm telling you, man, they're gonna crack down on anything that criticizes the left or anything that criticizes the COVID vaccines or anything about that stuff, man. They're getting really crazy now, and you know, I don't know. I mean, I wonder if there's someone that actually sits there and watches like your 8. I was on Joe's Secret Garden the other day. He did like an 8-hour smoke session. I mean, does someone actually sit there and watch all that stuff to see if you're causing any problems? That's got to be crazy. What a job. You know, it's like they're getting to the point where if you say anything against the government, or if you say anything against the vaccines or Fauci or any of this stuff, man, you're gonna get shut down. You're gonna get shut down. That's amazing. The government and mass media and social media are all on the same page, all marching to the same step. And that's dangerous, man. That's when you virtually have no freedom anymore. That's what scares me, man. They decide what information we're allowed to have and what information we're allowed to share. I don't like that stuff. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff that gets you kicked out of here. So, you know, I took 2 of my white widows that were tall enough and cleaned them up real good yesterday, defoliated the hell out of them, and they put them in tent number 3. So the flower tent is back in operation again. Number 3 is up again. And I got some more in tent number 2 that'll be tall enough in the next week or so to go over there. So we're moving stuff into the flower tent. The purple lemonade, man, dude, that plant is literally turned solid freaking purple. The buds are purple. The leaves are turning purple. The stems are dark purple. I mean, that purple lemonade, I've never seen anything like that thing, man. It is just solid freaking purple. It looks like violets in there. It's weird, man. So I can't wait to smoke it. It's still got about a month left. I finally figured out when I planted them. I forgot to write the date down on these things. I usually do very good on that, but I forgot on these. So I went back on my videos, and I found out that my video showed them being just bursting the surface of the 5-gallon pouch on 4/29. So that's what I needed was my date. So I figure I've got till about the 10th or 11th of July, and they are already huge and purple and just covered in trichomes. So if they've got another month yet, I can't even imagine what they're going to do. So it's amazing. They may be getting done early. I don't know, man. This one plant is way ahead of the other 3, and it's like already turned dark purple and trichomes all over it. And I looked at them last night under the jeweler's loop, and I swear to God, they already look like they're starting to get white. I mean, they're still pretty clear, but they already look like they're starting to get white, and it's a month away yet. So they may do, that's one may come in early. I don't know why, but it might. Certain plants seem to do it quicker than it might come in 8 or 9 weeks instead of 10. You know, that purple lemonade just blows me away, though, man. I mean, and the other 2 are starting to turn purple. The one on the third one on the end is just starting to turn purple, and the one in the middle is just starting to darken. So it's getting ready to start turning purple. So they're all going to do it, but they're a little bit behind the other one. But yeah, it's pretty impressive. I can't wait to taste it because it's going to be purple lemonade. I mean, think about it. It's going to be fruity as hell. It's going to be like sweet purple grape and sour lemonade. Oh, that ought to be tasty as hell. Yeah. Yeah, that ought to be really good. So we're looking forward to that. I mean, it's a shame they're autos. I would have cloned the hell out of them. I got clones on everything else, but you know, I'm gonna have a bunch of White Widow coming down the pipe, man. I am gonna have White Widow out the ass for the next 4 or 5 months because I've got 5 in the tent right now, 2 of them in flower already, and I've got probably about 7 clones I took off of them. So I got them. I got some cherry pie coming. I can't wait for the cherry pie again. I didn't get very much of it, and my friends kept wanting it, so I didn't get to keep very much of it. And that cherry pie was sweet. What a great flavor, man. I mean, that cherry pie it's a cool plant. Spiky leaves, real spiky leaves. So your Skywalker came in looking pretty good. Yeah, I grew that. That was my first crop. I had Skywalker OG autos, I think. And they came in real nice. Came in real nice. That's a nice strain. So you're sponsored by the one of the nutrient companies. Was it Bloom Plus or something? Is that who you use for your newts? I guess you're busy doing something else. Well, that's cool. I understand. So yeah, but yeah, the purple lemonade is really looking wild, man. I mean, if you want to see what it looks like, take a look at my last video. You'll see. I had to tie the damn plant up. It was just completely laying over, so I took a big string and wrapped around it and pulled the whole thing up into a bundle. So that'll show in the next video. It was just literally almost completely laying over. It's so heavy already. It's got a month to go yet. So I'm gonna have to do some support rods in it or something probably. I mean, I didn't scrog because I hate scrog and I can't get in there to water. I can't get in there to do anything. It just drives me crazy. I scrogged one or two of my crops and it drove me insane. I couldn't take the plants out and defoliate them or work on them. They're all just static. You can't do anything with them. So I can't do the nets, man. It's just I'm tempted sometimes, but I just can't. I thought about trying to use a modified tomato cage, in there, one of those tomato cages, Hey, Chronic, what's going on, man? We're just sitting there talking about growing and shit. I was just talking about this purple lemonade that's like falling over. I had to tie the thing up. It's so big. So anybody wants to jump up on here, man, I'll post the link again. If anybody wants to join me on the panel, I mean, let's see if I can figure out how to do that again without screwing up the thing. There we go. There's the link if anybody wants to jump up, Yeah, we're just sitting around talking about growing stuff, man. I've got this. I've got these auto purple lemonades that are coming closer. They're about a month out yet, and they already look incredibly huge and purple and everything. But so I got some White Widow and some Cherry Pie, and which I've grown before, but I've also got some new strains. I've got Purple Stilton, that's an auto. It's growing in, and then I've got two Vanilla Frosting, never grown it, never smoked it, and one called Sour Betty, another one I've never grown or smoked. So that's all in the tents right now, and I'm cloning off of those as fast as they're ready. So we're getting the tents filled up again, Like I was telling Matic earlier, I just moved two of the White Widows into the flower tent. I have to do massive defoliation on them. And so they had day one of flower yesterday. So, and there's a couple others that'll be ready to go in there by next week. I'm just going to move them in as they get tall enough. I let them get about 30, 36 inches, and then I move them into the flower tent, and they usually stretch the rest of the way I want and still stay underneath my light. So, what you smoking on, Chronic Care? What you growing? What's up with you? It's 8:20, so that means it's 4:20 some fucking where in the world. I'm trying to think of where that would be. Probably way out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean somewhere, maybe. Something like that. Hawaii, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, it's 4:20 somewhere. So everybody that's anywhere around here, Aussie Stoners, what's up, oh? Good day, mate. We're just talking about growing and stuff, but it's 4:20 somewhere because it's 8:20 here. So that's all hit a bood. Ooh, that's good gorilla punch there, man. Tasty as shit. Oh my God, let's get some party going on here, man. Really, shit. It's Saturday. It's been a hell of a week, man. Did a lot of gardening this week, man. I went in there the other day and I defoliated probably 10 plants. It took me a good hour, man. I filled a bucket up with leaves. Oh my God. Cut a bunch of clones, started a bunch of clones, started a bunch of seeds. Just started some Maui Wowie and some more Gorilla Glue and some more Acapulco Gold. Can you imagine that? I got some Maui Wowie seeds. I got a bunch of them, so we're going to get some Maui Wowie going here. Haven't smoked that stuff in probably 30 years, 35 years. So we're going to do some Maui Wowie with the Acapulco Gold. We're doing the old strains. I'm I'm trying to do some of the old strains, man. So, yeah, I'm cloning the crap out of everything, man. I got White Widows and Cherry Pies cloning right now. As soon as the Vanilla Frosting and Sour Betty get big enough, I'll clone them when I lollipop them. And then we're going to keep on cloning the shit out of it, yeah, because I went through a lot of seed lately, and I just ordered some more, man. But that shit gets expensive. Fucking seeds are killing me. Wow, 6 days. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be as good as it was in the old days, man. But I tell you what surprised me. I grew some Acapulco Gold, and it's pretty much what I remember it being from a long time ago. I mean, probably not exactly the same strain. I mean, let's get real. But it's real. It tasted really close to what I remember anyway. But, man, when I was young, Maui Wowie, Acapulco Gold, if you could get stuff like that, or BC Bud, South Africa, which they call Durban Poison now. If you could get your hands on any of that stuff, you paid out the ass for it. But you got it if you could, man. You got a couple grams usually. You were lucky if you could get a quarter ounce of it usually or something like that. And then somebody suggested Panama Red. I'd forgotten all about Panama Red. I may have to try to get some seeds for that. I mean, it's got a song about it, for God's sake, you know. So we might have to try to grow some Panama Red. So what's everybody else growing out there, man? I got a lot of new stuff growing. I got some oldies and favorites going, and you know, I'm just trying to keep up. What's everybody else growing today, man? What everybody else smoking today? I mean, and I got another question I want to throw out to everybody. Just if you want to share a little bit about what retail and wholesale prices are in your market area, I'll throw some out for you just to get started. These are alleged prices I've heard on the stock market. I couldn't attest to them because I certainly wouldn't be involved in the illegal market in any way. But I think ounces are going for around $240 on the street. Quarter pounds are going for $500. Half pounds for $1,000. I think we've seen pounds going for $1,800. You know, something like that is what's going on in the greater Midwest Missouri area. So if anybody else wants to throw out some street prices they've heard on the street, I'm curious what things are going for in different parts of the country, different parts of the world. Then I got another thing I want to talk about. I want someone indoor 2,500 all day. Ooh, okay. And what part of the world are you in, Chronic? I can't remember. Yeah, indoor 20. Wow, cool. Yeah, you know, I'm sure that it could probably get that high around here if you really wanted to do a little East Coast. Okay, yeah, I'm sure it's a little higher there. Okay. Now, I had something else I wanted to throw out. Has anybody ever thought about doing this as a project? I'd like to take 3 clones, and I don't have all the equipment to do it, or I would do it. Take 3 identical clones in the same dirt, same 5-gallon pot. Let's just do it. Let's just keep everything consistent, same dirt. And I'd like to grow one under HPS, one under a high-quality LED, and one outside. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Once all of it's grown out and it's been trimmed and cured and everything, then I want to do some real interesting shit with it. What's the taste like on all 3 of them? What's the buds like on all 3 of them? And could an experienced stoner tell you which one was growing outdoors and which one was growing indoors after they smoked it? I'm just curious as shit. I think that would be a great video series. Problem is, I don't have an HPS light, and I really don't want to buy one just to try this out. But I would love someone to do something like that. Take an identical clone of a good generic plant. Say Gorilla Glue would be a good one. Easy to grow. Everybody's familiar with it. It's an easy strain. Grow one indoors on HPS, one outdoors, and one indoors on a good quality LED light. Everything the same. Same newts, same soil, same everything else. I mean, everything else identical. And I want to see, I mean, everybody keeps telling me, well, you know, outdoor and indoor, I can tell the difference. Well, let's see if you really can. Then we do some fucking games where we put 3 of them in jars that are not labeled, like A, B, and C, and we get a panel of some experienced smokers together, people that have been smoking 20, 30, 40 years, and let's see if they can tell me which one was grown outdoors, which ones were grown indoors, and better yet, I wonder if somebody can tell the difference between the HPS and the LED. I think this would be really freaking fun to do. I just don't have a separate tent and an HPS light to do it with. You know, I mean, I've got clones out the ass to do it with, so that's not a problem. I've got a raised garden bed outside I could do the outdoor grow with, and I've got time this season to do an outdoor grow yet still. But here's the other problem with that. The indoor grow is going to be done like, 16 weeks from now, something like that. The outdoor grow may be longer, because it's going to wait for the sun to change. I can't turn the light cycle down outside. So they may not all get done at the same time. That may be something you might have to deal with a little bit, like trying to time these where they get done fairly close to the same time so that the weed's cured the same way. And the other thing is, once the weed is harvested and dried and everything, it needs to be dried, trimmed, and cured exactly the same. No variances. You can't throw the outside shit down on the ground to dry and throw the inside stuff in a nice drying room. You can't do that. It's got to all be done identical. I want the only variable to be the light source, whether it's the sun, LED, or HPS. I think that would be a freaking great video series. Maybe you get sponsored by an HPS supplier and an LED grow light. Maybe they don't want to know the answers to that, though, I mean, I'm curious about this. I really am. I'm not going to start using HPS because of the electric bill and the heat. I mean, I'm just not going to deal with it. But, I'm curious to see if, LED is, Okay, the other day we were talking and somebody said that LED got more bud and more yield, but they were smaller bud, and the HPS did less bud, yes, less yield, but bigger bud. So, I don't know if that's a generalization. I don't know if you've all had that same experience, if you've grown in both environments. Seems to me I'd rather have more medium-sized buds that gave me more yield than a lesser number of a few big tops, I mean, we all like those big picture tops, but, a bud's only got to be a little bit bigger than my biggest bowl, for me to enjoy the hell out of it. So, but yeah, I wonder if anybody wants to do that. Ozzy, you want to try that, man? You got an HPS and an LED inside and a nice outdoor world. You want to try to do a test for us, man? Come on, Huck. Let's see you pull this one off, man. I think it'd be a cool test. I really do. But then you got to have 4 or 5 friends local that are really heavy, good smokers. You got to have some other mouths on this because you can't just sit there and do it alone. I think you're going to need, I would say, a panel of 5 people minimum to get some real. And then it'd be interesting to see how many of them can actually pick out the outdoor, the indoor. And I'll be damned impressed if somebody can tell me which one is the HPS and which one's the LED. That would be a hell of a challenge there. So anyway, that's just something that came into my head the other day. We were talking about some stuff, and I was laughing about that because I haven't seen anybody do it. And I think you need to use clones, not seedlings. not different, because you want to make sure there's no pheno differences. You want these to be identical plants. So if you use clones, you eliminate all the variables in the plant material, right? Am I wrong or right? So I want somebody's opinions on this. Chronic Hook, tell me, is this a stupid idea or does this sound like something that would be fun to try? And I'm getting tired of talking, man. Somebody else want to get up here? I'm going to lose my voice here, man. So, all right, well, maybe everybody wants to tell me what they're smoking today. I think Manic said he was smoking Gorilla Glue earlier. Nobody wants to talk today, so. Fuck. So yeah, I'm using this new Lenovo Android tablet to do my videos and StreamYard and all this, and it's pretty cool. I got up on a gooseneck thing. It's working out pretty good so far. It's not bad. It's better than doing it with a phone, which is what I was doing all the time. So the herbal pipe is still working away. Yeah, it's still doing its job. Take this bowl and put that sucker on there, and we'll hit this baby up here. And if you haven't seen this before, this is the herbal pipe. It's got a little centrifuge inside that spins the water, and it's supposed to shoot the smoke through the stem here, kind of thing. I have to give it a little help sometimes, but yeah, it works pretty good. It's like the ultimate perk because the spinning water cools the smoke like better than a perk can even. I mean, think about it. It's going through a damn cyclone of water, So yeah, from what I understand, it's made by a company in Oklahoma, right here in the Midwest. And so it's not Chinese, which is freaking amazing. Also joining us today on our smoke sesh will be a big old gorilla here. This is really an update of the old graphics from the 1970s. I swear to God, the old graphics had a soup can at the bottom and a big tube. It didn't have perks, and it had the bowl actually went right into the tube itself. It was PVC is what it was, and this one is the improved version, I think. You have to buy these perks. They're additional, like $30 a piece, which I think is ridiculous. They screw onto a threaded rod here. You can put a couple more, but the water level ends like right here. So I don't know what they would do for you. But what's amazing about this thing, what I think is really cool, is the carburetor on it. Instead of pulling the bowl out, this is the bowl that comes with it. Okay, it comes with a screen. You can use any 14 millimeter bowl though, and I have used all kinds on it. The carburetor is here. It's like almost like a slide shotgun. Okay, let's see if I can get this close enough you can get a better view. If you slide it down, you can see these holes open up, and that's where it draws the air in. So you don't have to pull the bowl out to carburate. You don't have to use a back carburetor. It's a slide. It's got a spring inside there. You can feel it, and it just slides down. And the whole thing screws apart and cleans. It's got a weighted base, and some of the water actually resides in the base itself. Got a removable mouthpiece at the end. Here, if I can get that in there. can't really show that. Yeah, there's the mouthpiece. So we'll be using big Gorilla here a little bit later too, and can't let it be left out, I've got about a dozen bongs around here. I broke one of my glass pieces yesterday. It really pisses me off when I do that. I had it in a gym bag, and I just dumped the damn thing on the floor like it didn't matter, and it broke the damn thing. I was like, shit. So, that's all right. I've got about a dozen bongs around here, so I've got all kinds of glass pieces, so it's not really a big deal, but it just burns my ass. I hate doing that. So, is anybody else going to talk today, or what the hell? Seriously.
Confess the compulsion of a religious zealot?
In the Miranda case, the Supreme Court of the United States laid down precisely what my job will now perform that job precisely.
Did the Supreme Court ever hand down a decision exempting a prosecutor from having a little humanity, a little compassion for a man who suffered such a grievous wrong?
Please, sir, don't fight the fact. That's proper question. You ask.
So, Hook, are you around? What's up, man? You want to jump up here, man? I mean, come on, Well, hello, Holly. What's up? We're just talking weed. We're just talking weed. So, what's everybody smoking today? And if you're growing, let's talk about some of the strains you're growing, man. What do you think about the old landrace strains I'm trying to grow, like the Maui Wowie and the Acapulco Gold? I'm going to try to get some Panama Red. And what do you think about that idea I had about growing the clones in 3 different environments? I really want to see somebody try that, but, whatever. So what's going on? I think I'm going to do a little Gorilla Glue here for Big Gorilla today. A bowl of amnesia. Cool. That's all right. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's a good sativa. I grow good sativa. Yep. It's good stuff. I wonder too. We're going to find out. I've got a couple seeds I just popped, and they did throw tap roots, so they're already in dirt, and we're going to grow some Maui Wowie. So we're going to find out. Okay, SOS, what's up in the house? Hey, what you smoking on? Let's talk about what you're growing. I know a lot about your garden. You guys are doing good out there. Good to see you this morning. Dave-o! Yeah, I think that test would be fun, man. I wish somebody could do it. But the thing is, I want to be on the panel. So once they've grown these clones out in the 3 different environments we talked about, I want to be on that 5-man panel. So if it's somewhere in the Midwest, I'll drive. I will drive. Oh my God. I really want to put to rest the idea of, is outdoor weed really that much worse than indoor? Can you really tell the difference? Anybody really tell the difference if you put a blind test? And then the LED and HPS controversy, man, I would be a good judge. I've been smoking weed so damn long, it's scary. I want to be on that panel. That's why I kind of wish I was the one doing it. I just don't have an HPS light, and man, I don't know, man. The heat of that damn thing, I can't handle that in one of these tents. I just don't know if I can handle it right now. But I know there's guys out there. I know there's some growers out there that have HPS and LED right now. In fact, I think Joe's Secret Garden, I know he's got an HPS and 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 LED lights both. So he could do it, but I don't know if he could do the outdoor grow. See, that's the problem, you know. I don't. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's just a matter of who could do it, you know. Someone has to be able to do all three, you know. I think that'd be a blast, though. I want to try it. I really want to see if I can tell the difference. I want to see if I can taste the difference. If there's much more terpenes on the indoor grow, or if the outdoor grow has more of a hay taste, like some people claim. I don't know. I mean, you got to remember, for the first 35 years I was smoking, I guarantee you everything I was smoking was grown outdoors somewhere, probably down in Mexico or Northern California, or, if I was lucky, most of the time it was Mexico. So, yeah, I could definitely taste the stuff I'm smoking myself, that I'm growing myself. It's got a lot more flavor than the Mexican shit I was smoking back in the 80s and 90s and 2000. But you got to remember, too, that stuff was grown outdoors, but it was thrown on the ground to dry, and it was transported long distances. So by the time I got it, it was dry, compressed, and sometimes moldy, So, that's not really a good test, because it really wasn't at its best when I got it. So, but I would like to try it. I would like to try those differences and see. I bet I'm pretty sure I could taste the difference between the outdoor and the indoor. I got reasonable confidence that I could tell the difference on that. I'm not sure why, but I'm pretty sure I could. But as far as whether I could tell anything between the HPS and the LED, I doubt. I doubt very seriously that I'm going to be able to taste any difference there. But, and I think it would be important, too, to do some other measurements, too. Like, I'd like to know how many ounces of bud they got off of each three plants. So the LED, the HPS, and the outdoor. I want to see how much production they got. So if the outdoor plant got, a freaking pound, and the indoor plants got, 5 ounces, that's, be reasonable. That would be about what I expect, 5 or 6 ounces, whatever they came in with. But I still want to know that. I want to know, that kind of stuff. And then just stuff like that. I kind of want to know that. I'd like to see some close-up photographs, too, of maybe the trichome production on all three of the buds. That would be really good to document those after it's cured, to get a good picture of it, just to see if there's any real major differences. I think it'd be fun, but, just something that came in my head the other day when I was getting stoned as usual. So, somebody else want to jump up here, man? I'm getting kind of talked out here. So if somebody wants to jump up, I'll throw the link again just for the hell of it. I don't think anybody really wants to be seen today. Maybe you all haven't had a shower yet, and you're feeling kind of grungy. I know that feeling. Here we go. So anyway, if you want to jump up here, I think it'd be cool, So yeah, well, I think we'll go ahead and hit this Gorilla Glue on this on Big Gorilla here, and if you got a bong or joint or blunt or whatever the hell you're doing, join me. Come on, man. This is a smoke sesh. So nobody else has anything to say. You guys are really not too talkative today, man. I tell you. Oh. So yeah, a bunch of links. So. So yeah, I haven't tried some of these new strains I'm growing right now. The vanilla frosting sounds delicious, you know. Really? Well, that's really interesting, Dave. Okay, wow. That is true. Yeah, most people aren't even quite awake yet. I was up about 6 this morning, and so yeah, I get it. I get it. So you actually ran this idea to a guy 3 months ago. Well, I think that's great minds think alike, dude, because I seriously thought about this the other day. I don't know what made me think of it, but I think it's because Joe was talking about HPS versus LED, and he kept talking about the differences in bud structure on it. And I thought, well, yeah, but what about outdoor? Let's throw the sun in there. That's the ultimate light. Yeah, I'm always trying new stuff. You know, I'm always trying new things. Yeah, I'm always trying to do new things on my grows every time. So, like on these autos, I just did the purple lemonades. This is the first time I literally just put the seeds right in the 5-gallon pot. No transplant at all. Straight from seed to 5-gallon pot. And it really is amazing. You think the outdoor would win as far, okay. You think it would win as far as taste or yield or what? I mean, I know it's going to yield more. I mean, unless something goes wrong with it, like bugs or bad weather or whatever. But as far as, do you think it's going to taste better outside than indoors, or indoors be taste better? What about the buzz? Which one's going to be stronger, you think? I mean, I'm not going to probably be able to take them to a. Oh, really? Okay. So you think the outdoor is going to have better taste, better yield, obviously, and stronger weed than the indoor? Wow, that's amazing, because everybody I've talked to said that the outdoor weed doesn't sell for near as much as the indoor. So I would assume that people were digging the indoor more than the outdoor for some reason. There had to be some reason why they were willing to pay, sometimes 40% more for indoor weed than outdoor weed. So, but that's interesting. I personally thought that the indoor would have the better taste and maybe be stronger because it's babied more. The environment's perfect. I mean, you're literally no storms, no overcast days, no heat drought or anything like that, because you're controlling the environment. So I thought maybe the indoor plants would be a little stronger, taste a little better, and probably be a little bit better looking bud. That was just my guess. But you're saying you think the outdoor would. And there's a lot of logic to that, because, I mean, I can't recreate the world very well in my basement. I mean, I can't recreate Mother Sun, and I certainly can't give my plants unlimited room to go down as deep as they want. Okay, you think the indoor will be stronger, higher THC? Okay, yeah, I think so too. I think it would be stronger, yeah. But the outdoor has got some advantages. I mean, the roots can go as deep as they want, potentially, if they're not in a pot, and they can, you've got the sun, I mean, talk about penetration, there's no LEDs I know out there that can compete with old Mother Soul out there. So, there's a lot of guys I chat with on here that are outdoor growers, man. My hat's off to them, man, because I threw a couple out there just to see what they would do, and it was weird. They started flowering because they were in too much darkness before I put them out there, and now they're re-vegging. But it's weird. They're about 18 inches tall. They look like a donkey all the way up. They look like solid bud all the way up, but then there's 3-finger leaves starting to sprout out of the tops and stuff around the bottoms. So it's re-vegging. And they're going to do something, but they've got to get going here because they're running out of time. They got to start getting some plant structure going. But I didn't really get serious about outdoor. I didn't get really serious about doing it outdoor because I'm not really into that right now. But I worried about doing outdoor because you got to deal with pests and you got your rodents. Yeah, exactly. The soil out there would need to be ideal. Well, yeah, I think if you're going to do this test, you would have to start it in the same 5-gallon pot or whatever of magic dirt that you're using on your indoor grow, and then bury that whole thing in, that whole plug of dirt in the ground to give it the same start. And then give it the same feed that you're giving the indoor ones around its root base. Wouldn't you think so? So you would have to try to maximize the soil outside to be the same as what you're doing on your indoor test. And that's a little tricky, but yeah, you can do it. In fact, you could even dig out a big section outside and put the same soil in that you're using for your indoor grows. So to try to give it the same advantage, dig out about a 3 or 4 foot circle completely of the old crap dirt that we have in Missouri, and it's all clay, and put in, I use Strawberry Fields. That's what I would use for this test, would be Strawberry Fields, Fox Farm, all the way through, and just see what it would do. And I would use the same organic fertilizers that I use inside that I use outside. I would use everything the same organics. I use General Organics right now. Starting to switch over some things to Fox Farms brand. They all do basically the same thing. Yeah, it's all clay here in Missouri. It's all garbage. You can't really do nothing with the dirt here. Yeah, you'd have to dig it up and, oh man, you'd do a little bit with it. But I think you could do it. I think you could at least give the plant a good head start with the same soil that it's got indoors. Now, eventually, its tap roots and that are going to get down into that Missouri clay. But by that time, it's not going to have a major impact on the test, I don't think, because it's going to have so many lateral roots still feeding off of that beautiful soil that it's going to have the same advantages as out inside, plus the advantage of the sun. So I think, you can't maximize, you cannot literally minimize every variable. But I think if you really struggle to minimize all the variables you can, so that the only variable that you can't control is, the only change is the outdoor sun versus HPS versus LED. Everything else you want to try to get as close together as you can. And that means watering outdoors regularly, not just depending on nature, because you got to give it the same advantages that the indoor environment has if you want to make sure that it's just the light that's the difference. So you can't just let it get really dry outside and, then flood it. You're going to have to do a little bit of controlled watering, but I even thought about using a tree root waterer, and put a hose on it and literally water and nutrient down into the roots, So that may be something you could do to help maximize the outdoor grow better. I wonder if anybody's ever tried using one of those. My dad used them when I was a kid. It's a tube that goes down into the roots, and it's got a cup on top. You can put newts and stuff. You put your hose on it. It seems to me for outdoor plants, if you got enough of them and you can run enough hoses connected to it, you can do some really good deep root feeding without dumping gallons and gallons of water on the topsoil, I don't know. And then someone said the other day, the perfect environment to do this, the fourth test would be, and there's a fourth variable here now, Dave. Someone suggested that the perfect environment would be an outdoor greenhouse. So maybe you would have to do a fourth clone in an outdoor greenhouse. What do you think of that? Give me your thoughts on that idea. Is a greenhouse different enough from just being outdoors raw to make a fourth category? That was another question. His thoughts were that the best plant you could possibly do would be the greenhouse. That would be the ideal environment because you can control the indoor environment somewhat on the greenhouse, cool it and heat it or whatever you got to do. And you're getting the sun, but you're not getting the wind and the storms and the pests and the rodents. So he said the greenhouse would be literally the fourth category, and it would be the ideal environment for growing pot. Has anybody here grown outside in a greenhouse? Because believe me, I thought about it. I really have thought about it. I mean, I've got this raised garden bed outside, and it's pretty good size, and I can extend it a little bit more, easily add more extensions to it. And I thought, what if I just went further with it, took the raised garden bed and enclosed it in a greenhouse? Okay, so using tomatoes, okay, greenhouse. So the greenhouse versus outdoors, tomatoes are better. Yeah, I will go along with that. Greenhouse, hothouse tomatoes are not as tasty. I think a lot of times it's just grown out in the environment. So there is that feature. But marijuana being a more delicate plant in a lot of ways, I would like the advantage of not having to worry about winds and storms and you know, the weird shit that can happen when you just have them outside. Greenhouse might be fun to fuck with, man. Plus, you could grow later into the season, you know, with the sun heating it and everything. Maybe you can put a couple of heaters inside of it. You could grow later into the season in a greenhouse outside still, maybe. Let them finish up that last little bit. I mean, you're not going to grow outdoors in Missouri in a greenhouse in my backyard in late December, January, and February, and beginning of March. You're just not going to be able to do it. You know, it would be just too freaking cold. There's no way you wouldn't get enough sun, and it would just be too hard to even heat it up enough for me to do a small. But you could literally grow in a greenhouse in my backyard probably 8-9 months outside. It would be interesting to try that, you know, give you a little bit more grow room, you know. Yeah, you think about, well, maybe a greenhouse gives you a little more privacy too, you know. I mean, I got neighbors behind me. I wonder what they think about all those mountains of dirt I dump out in the backyard and the mountains of fan leaves I throw in the compost out in the backyard. So that would be an interesting test, though. But I really want to see if I can taste a lot of difference and really the buzz. Now, here's the problem with it. There's a problem I had with this test we had to talk about. If I do a hit of weed number 1 and tell you how good a buzz it's got, well, I already got a good buzz going when I go to do a hit of weed number 2. And by the time I get to weed number 3, I've got a pretty damn good buzz going on. So how honest am I going to be? Not honest, but how accurate am I going to be or just accurate completely on how much of a buzz I'm getting from the 3 different weeds if I'm not completely straight when I start each one? In other words, I'd have to wake up in the morning without smoking and do a hit of one of the weeds and record my feelings on the buzz. And then I wouldn't be able to do the next weed until the next morning. Right? I mean, if I wanted to really be completely objective about it, and I'm trying to gauge the buzz, I mean, the head rush or whatever you want to get out of it, I would have to be completely is reasonably free of active THC going into my blood. Like I hadn't smoked first 5 or 6 hours. Different days. Okay, yeah. See, that just hit my mind. Because if I do hit number 1, by that time my objectivity's gone by hit number 2. There's no way I could tell you any more about the buzz from hit number 2 because I'm still stoned from hit number 1. So if you get a group of 5 people together, you're going to have to rent some hotel rooms, and everybody get up in the morning and meet in a room and we do the hit. We look at the bud. We write down our feelings about the visuals of the bud, the feelings of stickiness, the smell, write down our impressions, and then we smoke it. And then we record our feelings on the buzz. And that would be it for that day. And then the next day we would have to meet again and do, the same process again and out until the 3rd day. And if you have a greenhouse, into the 4th day. So this is going to take some people that are pretty committed to this. Let's all meet in St. Louis. I mean, I can't believe how much thought I've given this. This is really kind of crazy because it's turned into a whole scientific fucking research study. And I really didn't start out like that. It was just kind of like, I wonder how better outdoor is than indoor or vice versa. That's where it started. And then I started thinking, well, HPS and LED, that makes a difference too, And, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, you would have to do different days. I think it needs to be here in St. Louis because, by God, I'm in the middle of the country, so that gives us a break, so everybody can get here easier than farther, of course, whatever. That's just my thought. We get a block of hotel rooms. We get some judges to come in. And, I mean, I want lists of credentials. I've been smoking for X number of years. I'm a grower. I work at a lab. I mean, I want to know that these are qualified judges. I toured with the Grateful Dead, something like that. I smoked with Willie Nelson. I mean, come on, give me a Snoop Dogg and I are buds. Something like that. Give me something to tell me. Then we meet every morning before we eat anything, before we drink coffee or anything. I mean, you got to be cool about this. We got to have a clean slate. Everybody do the smoke. And then, videotape the whole thing, man. Video the whole thing. Write down our thoughts and impressions on it. I think it would be an excellent, excellent study. And I think we need just like a neutral strain like Gorilla Glue or a White Widow or something that's just a hybrid, that's, real generic, that's kind of pretty stable by now, not a lot of weirdnesses to it. We're going to be using clones, so there's no genetic variations. I think it'd be a blast. I think it'd be fun to do. And I tell you how we do it. Hey, Rye, what's up, man? Good to see you. If you do it right, we could time it where we do this April 20th, 21st, and 22nd next year. So that means somebody has got to get the weed process going now, get the weed done, and get it cured between now and April 20th of next year. Then we meet up in St. Louis. We rent a block of rooms, and we're going to tell them up front this is not going to be a no smoking event. Oh, God. But you know what? Whoever does this has got to be a decent grower, man. It's got to be someone who's got experience growing indoors and out, and that's not me. So it's got to be somebody that knows how to grow indoors and out and knows how to, cure it and all that stuff. So we need a special grower here that's ready to take this project on. And if I can do anything at all to help with the project, like provide clones or anything at all, I'd be glad to do it. But yeah, I think this would be a great April 20th research project. We'll call it the HPS LED Soul Smoke Out. That's exactly what it is. And we're going to literally put this debate to bed. You know, okay, yeah, everybody does. If we can find the right grower that's willing to do this project for us, I mean, seriously take it on and do it right, man, and be serious about it. I would love to make this a reality. I really would. I would love to see this happen, man. I wish I had the means to do it myself. I just don't have the HPS light, and I don't really have another tent to spare just to do it with either, but yeah, we talked earlier. I honestly think that the indoor stuff is going to taste better. It's going to be stronger because it's got the perfect environment and you're bathing it the whole time. Even if you do the same newts and everything else, the sun has got better light. There's no doubt about that. But you also have overcast days. You have stormy days. You have deluges and okay. So Riot, what we're talking about doing is taking 3 clones of the same generic plant. We talked about maybe Gorilla Glue, White Widow, Northern Lights, something that's been around, very stable genetic. Take 3 clones of the same plant. Grow 1 under HPS, 1 under LED, and 1 outside. Everything has to be the same otherwise. Same soil, same newts, everything else identical. Same curing process, everything, same trimming process. And then get together and do a smoke out. Which one tastes better? Which one's stronger? Which one's got better terpenes? Which one's got better looking trichomes on it? Let's get the microscope out. I want to do a real study about this plant and figure out exactly which one comes out the best. Now, you got some variables you're not going to be able to control. If you have a bad growing season that day, when he does the outdoor one, well, you're kind of be screwed. I don't know what to do about that. But you got to make sure it gets the right amount of water and everything. It doesn't dry out or drought out or anything. If you did this right, I think it would be a very interesting fucking video. I think it would be a very good series even. The guy who does the growing could do the whole video of the series of the 3 plants growing in the 3 environments and talk about, I mean, think about doing even time lapse of their growth would be cool, but that'd be a lot to do. But see the different growth rates, how they grow under the different lights, and then do the smoke out all on video, man. And then let's all figure out which one is the best. If we had the perfect world, which way would we grow our weed? Right. So that's why we need to find somebody that's in a great, perfect 2 to 3 growers would be better. Oh yeah, but man, then you got all kinds of variables. Then we got 5 people sitting in front of a panel and they got to test the weed from 3 growers. So that's 9 tests. That's 9 days right there. That's 9 days they got to get up and do the same test. Now we're getting into a real long test. That would be interesting. Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, but I mean, to make it simple, man, I really would like to have one grower that could do all 3 grows using exactly the same nutrients and just see what the variable is in the light. That's what I want to do. If we can keep everything else identical, because if you have 3 growers, you're going to have 3 different locations. They're going to have different latitudes, longitudes for sun, different growing seasons. That's going to cause all kinds of variables on the outdoor grow, so that would be too much. But if you can get one grower in a good location, I don't know, Northern California, the Midwest, a place where you don't have real extremes and things are comfortable for the plant. I don't know. That would be great. That's what we're looking for, you know. And then the smoke sessions are going to just be phenomenal. Because once we do that morning session, you know, where we've tested that one bowl each or whatever that we're doing that day, you know, we're just going to be partying the rest of the fucking day. So it's going to be like a 3-day fucking smoke fest, you know. And it'd be really bizarre if we broadcast the whole fucking thing live, you know, like do a live, you know, 12 hours a day smoke session, you know, of this test. But let's get some people together and do this, man. Let's get this thing together and do it. That would be cool. That would be awesome. Oh, yeah, that would be fun. And I want to do something big for 420 next year, because last year, fucking COVID wiped it out. We didn't do shit in Missouri. Usually they actually do a big smoke out under the fucking Gateway Arch, which is really cool, with park rangers standing all around staring at you. It's really paranoia times 10, and everybody has a great time. But they didn't do it last year, you know. I think it would be some fun science. I think it's better than just like randomly grow and say, well, I honestly believe. Well, yeah, I'm glad that you believe that outdoor is better. I'm really glad that you believe that HPS is better, but that don't mean fucking shit to me. You can believe all you want. You can believe in the fairy tales or your Easter bunny. I don't care. I want to know, for me personally, my taste buds, my brain, my lungs, if I can tell a difference and which one is the best. I think this would be a fun project. I think it'd be cool. Yeah. Maybe we can get some grow light fuckers to sponsor the damn thing, you know, and they can pay for the hotel rooms and the, you know, fucking dinners and shit, give us a per diem and stuff. I mean, come on, you know, let's do it right. Let's see if they want, if they got the balls to put their HPS against their LED against the sun, and let's see if they want to sponsor us to do it. Come on, Mars Hydro and Spider Farmer, you guys can put up the fucking money for the LEDs, bro. Somebody else can do the HPS money for us, and I don't know who's going to sponsor the sun. Maybe we can get Al Gore to do that one. Fucker. So anyway, yeah, that would be cool, though. I would love to do this, man. I mean, I just don't know exactly how to time this, because you got to get the indoor grows. Yeah. You got to get the indoor grows and the outdoor grow to kind of come together at the same time so that they're curing about the same time. Everything else is kind of the same, you know. So let's see, your outdoor grow has to end. Yeah, well, yeah. Clone's going to be tricky there that way. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to do. I really do. Even if the indoor grows got done a few months before the outdoor did, as long as you cured it and preserved it, like I like to vacuum seal it, man, that keeps it where it does not age at all. That stops the process pretty much. Then when the outdoor stuff comes in, cure it as long as you cure the original stuff, and then seal it. And then after a while, they're ready. You know, you're ready to go. And then we can take all those three. We now have 3 sealed bags, vacuum sealed, cured bags of A, B, and C. And only the grower and whoever is doing the moderating on this, and I won't be able to know because I'm going to be one of the judges here. So we're going to have to get somebody who wants to be like an arbitrator on this. They can still smoke with us, but they're not going to be a part of the test. They're going to have to be the ones that know which one is A, which one is B, and which one is C. And they're going to be the keepers of that secret through the entire test. And then we cut them babies open. We put them in a jar on day 1. And you even got to get to the point where each smoker is trying to get a bud that's similar in size, that kind of looks consistent, so that you're not getting a better or worse bud than the other guy's getting, you know. That would be important. Try to get a consistent bud there. Try to get a consistent bud for everybody. So pick out like 5 identical buds that look pretty much the same, gets 5 glass pieces up. Do you think the bongs need to be identical, Dave? Do you think the 5 glass pieces need to be absolutely better? I mean, have to be the same? Do you think that for this to be the same, everything has to be the same? They all got to use the same bong, the same type of lighting device. I mean, do we have to go that far? Does it have to be that far? Maybe we have to do that. Maybe we need 5 identical beaker bongs or something, something that could be a standard that would kick out some of the variables. Because let's say my bong hits better than yours, I may get a better buzz out of weed number A than you do. So if you keep the bongs the same, you're taking out any other variables in the delivery system of getting the THC into the system. So yeah, they would have to be 5 identical bongs. And that means these would have to be people that smoke water pipes. You can't be someone who's never smoked a water pipe in his life and suddenly decides to be a judge here. So we need 5 water smokers who have good experience, and that would be good. Same bud, man bud, weighed out. Main bud, weighed out. Same bud, main bud, weighed out. Yeah, okay, I get that. Yeah. So we take one really nice choice bud from each one of those bags. Everybody agrees that this is the one. Yeah, this is the grower's bag by bud right here. And that one gets broken down for each of the 5 bowls. Yeah, that's exactly right. It has to be the same bud. It does. It has to be the same bud. It actually has to be the same bud from each plant. Yeah. And that's going to be bizarre to see the differences in the buds from the outdoor and the HPS and the LED. Just they won't look quite identical. Different texture, different thickness, different bulk, different size. So yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah. Maybe you'd hook up a lens I can hook up to my phone camera. Maybe you hook that up and give the viewers a view of each one of the buds up close, down with a trichome show, get down in there and give them a microscopic view of each bud. This is bud A. This is what we're getting ready to smoke, give them a real close-up view of them trichomes, man. Look at that. You can see the amber, the clear, everything's there. Then we smoke it, man. We video our responses to it. We write our responses to it, too. Type them up, man. Yeah, man, this felt really good. I got a good body buzz. I got a great head buzz, whatever the fuck you want to put, The flavor, I tasted these terpenes. Sometimes there's a back flavor, when you smoke weed. After you smoke it, there's you exhale, and then there's this extra flavor that comes back on it. I call it a back flavor. I don't know what other people call it. It's like a back bite. It kind of coats the inside of your mouth on the way out, and it gives you a different little jerk at the end. Some weed does that, some don't. I've noticed that citrus and fruity ones do it more. Things like that. This would be a really fun project. I think this would be great. I don't know if it's possible to get someone to do it all and get people to travel for it. I mean, maybe not. Maybe people don't want to come to St. Louis, but man, we're in the middle. We'll get you out in the suburbs, man. We're not going to put you down in the ghetto, man. I swear to God. We'll get you in a nice hotel out in the suburban area, out away from the city of St. Louis. We ain't going to put you there. Yeah, that would be a real fun test. So that's a hypothesis. And I guess the question we're trying to answer is, well, it's a multi-question. A, can you tell the difference between outdoor and indoor pot? Number one, that's the first question right off the bat. Everybody says they can. Everybody swears they can. I want to know for sure that they really can. Number two, what are the differences between the outdoor and indoor? Which one's stronger? Which one tastes better? Which one looks better? Which one, trips your trigger? I don't know, whatever hell you want to call it. And then the third question I really had on this was the sub question of the indoor lighting, HPS versus the LED. Was there major differences between the marijuana grown under those two lights? Do the flavor taste different? Does the terpenes different? Or is there any difference in the high between the two? I mean, that's, it would be interesting to find out that, hey, there's no, you could, wouldn't it be bizarre to find out that 5 people can't tell the difference between the HPS and LED? That they just cannot tell the difference between the indoor grown pot. That as much as they try, or that 4 or 5 of them get it wrong. I hope so, Dave. I mean, this could be a great project, man. We got a community of people here, man. There's some people that hang out together now in this environment, and we could do this, man. We could do a really big thing. And I could even run it under this thing I've been trying to start called the Mid-America Growers Association. I've got a Discord server for it. I haven't done much with it, really. We could kind of do it under the auspices of the Midwest Mid-America Growers Association I've got set up, and use that as a kind of a convention for this next 420. We'll book the rooms for 420, 421, and 422. And we'll get everything set up, and then we'll yeah, one of us will have to get a suite for doing the test part. We need a big nice room we can spread out. Oh God, this would be fun. I really do think it'd be fun, and it's a good excuse to get together and get stoned for 3 days. Really, I mean, we got good nightlife in St. Louis, lots of shit to do. If you're into that crap, probably catch a ball game, or you could probably, catch there's theater and all kinds of shit. But most of us would probably just be sitting around the room getting stoned, and eating. So probably wouldn't be much of an active 3 days for anybody. But it would be fun. And I wish we could get some sponsors. That would be really cool. Get them to foot the bill for the rooms, and maybe, some food allowance for the judges that are going to get it. It would be the ultimate vacation. And keeping that in mind, maybe we ought to pick a place that's more fun to go to than the middle of Missouri. Maybe we ought to pick a place like Key West. For doing the test, everybody can go down there, Oh, well. Yeah, it could be fun. It could be fun. It could be fun to do something like this. And I'm really actually very curious about this, because to be honest with you, if HPS really trips my trigger and did such a much better job than the LEDs, I might consider setting up one of my tents with HPS for the flower mode, and just, flowering under HPS. If I was convinced it was worth it, I would find a way to cool that tent enough to use HPS if I was convinced that it was worth it to me. But I love LED. I've had a great experience growing so far the last, my last 10, 12 grows, whatever hell it's been, under LED. I've had really good experience with it. I've enjoyed it. I've got some plain label generic quantum boards. I've got some Spider Farmers. I've got some Mars Hydro. I got a Mars Hydro. And I got some Bipar Spectras. I got a mix of all kinds. And they all seem to be working. I mix them together in the tent, so I'm getting kind of a little bit of everything. They're getting mixed spectrums. What the hell? And so far, I'm getting pretty good results with it. But could I get more? I mean, if HPS was going to get me, okay, if I could go from a pound of good bud to a pound and a half of good bud using HPS versus LED, I'd fucking do it. I'd buy the light tomorrow, and I would change one of my tents over. But it would have to be just as good a weed. It would have to taste just as good. It would have to look just as good. And I will have to find some way to overcome the heat problem, you know. That's just it. So I think for me, this would be a test for me to find out if it's something I really want to do, you know. I mean, hell, maybe I should just get an HPS light and fucking pull the trigger, you know. How big of an HPS light would I need to do a 4x5? Anybody got any suggestions on that? How many watts? I mean, it's not like I got a huge panel here or nothing right now, but I'm just curious if anybody, 400 watt be enough? I would like to get by with a 400 watt. It would be interesting to try. It really would be interesting to try. And if I got the HPS light and I've got the outdoor environment, I could do the whole test. I could get everything done and just invite the judges next April 20th. 400 to 600. Okay. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Okay. If I do it, then I could get everything growing. I've got some clones growing right now that would be perfect. In fact, I've got some White Widow and Cherry Pie clones growing right now. I could decide which one of those two I want to use for this test. I'm leaning toward White Widow because everybody smoked it. It's been around forever. It's a good generic hybrid out there. It grows well, and I'm thinking I was going to go with White Widow for that test. So I may go ahead and start the outdoor grow with one of these clones I've got going downstairs when it's ready, when it gets the root structure I want. So there, I got that, and I've got the White Widow. I could grow one. See the fuck, I gotta get an HPS light, man. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, if I could get my hands cheaply on a 400, man, somewhere that's not going to break the bank. Um, you know, it wouldn't be using any more electricity than the 4,000 or 5,000 watts of LED I'm burning in my flower tent right now. I got a Mars Hydro in there, plus I got two 1200s in there. So, you know, I got 5,400 watts going in there right now of LED. So a 400 to 600 is not going to be much more than that as far as my power draw goes. What's going to be the problem is how the fuck do I cool a 4x5 tent that I have to close up? Well, I can open it all day during the day for the 12-hour flower cycle. I do that anyway. But it's still going to have a lot of heat buildup in there. It's still going to have a fuckload of heat buildup. I got fans in there. I mean, I've got a carbon fan, of course, an inline fan. I've got big fans in that tent, too, to blow down on it. But, wow. I could give it a shot, man. I mean, I'm so curious about this. I'm actually willing to try this. You know, I might be the one that has to do it. The problem is I'm not a very good grower. I mean, I'm all right. I can do all right. I was hoping to find somebody that was a better grower than me to do it. And second of all, I've never really grown outdoors. So that's going to be a whole nother, variable there. If I don't do a very good job at growing the outdoor plant, then it's not a fair test because it's a piece of shit. If you got bud that looks like crap and it's, tastes like hay, then, well, then the test is moot. You can still do the HPS LED test, and call it a day. But if I can't get the outdoor grow to grow right and flower out perfectly at the end of the season, then, the test is moot. Now, here's the problem. My clones haven't rooted yet. If I let's see, do I have, by the time I get them in the ground outside, it's going to be the end of June. That gives them July and August and part of September before the light changes. That should give them time to veg pretty damn tall. I mean, they'll get taller than the ones indoors will. That's for damn sure. So, yeah, that should give them enough time to grow. It's going to be awful damn hot out there for a clone to try to root out there, but yeah. And let me ask you this: to better my odds, I'm going to be growing multiple clones indoors under the HPS. And okay. Okay, man, we'll talk later. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. That's cool. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, I should grow multiple plants outside and multiple plants inside to make sure I get, a good crop for the test. So anyway, that's something we're talking about doing, guys. Something we're thinking about. I'm about to lose my voice here. If somebody else want to jump in on this screen, I'd really, really appreciate it. But it doesn't look like anybody wants to be seen today, so I don't know why everybody's shy today. So everybody think about what we just talked about here. We're talking about doing a blind study test, and reasonably blind study test. The problem is if I grow them, that I'm going to know which ones they are. So that means I can't be a judge. Unless I get my girlfriend to put the weed randomly into, maybe I can do something like that. I got the weed in 3 jars. I know what they are originally, so I'll know what they look like a little bit, but they should look pretty similar, so that won't be enough. Yeah, I might be able to get somebody that is not involved as a judge to do the randomizing of the weed in A, B, and C. Once that's done, and I don't know what they are, they put the answers in a sealed envelope. And that would be beginning of the test. Yeah, then I could be a judge. I could be a grower and one of the judges of the, I'm not really going to call them judges because we're not judging the weed. I'm going to call it more of a scientific panel, like a research panel, a consortium, if you will. We're trying to see really what the difference is going to be. What's it going to do? How is the same clone, the same genetic material going to react in 3 different lighting environments with all the other variables being the same? If anybody has any thoughts on that, I would love to hear about it. Maybe somebody will be watching this later on, would like to lay a comment on it, and see what they say about it. It'd be interesting to see if anybody else has been thinking along the same way. So just what's going on there. Let's see what else is going on in the world of weed around us here. Been going through a lot of the balm lately. A lot of people are using the balm for skin conditions. They're using it for pain. It's clearing up things like skin cancer spots and eczema and psoriasis and acne and It seems to be helping people, some people with dry skin, and I don't know. Seems to be helping a lot of people. Anyway, the bomb's doing really well, making a lot of it lately. And um, let's see. Do a lot of edibles. This says here is a vial of cannatonic oil extract. Okay, so this is a vegetable oil extract using the cannatonic plant. Now, cannatonic, for those that haven't been following my grows at all, and there's probably a lot that haven't, is a plant that's very unique in the fact that it's half CBD and half THC. That's very unique. It's about 12% each, according to the specs. And so this is used under the tongue. And it gets into the bloodstream pretty quickly under the tongue. And so a lot of people are using that. I've worked on a sleep tonic based on that with adding in a few things. I won't go into all that. I mean, some of that I need to keep to the best. But it's things that will help people sleep. So we got a patient who's going through some cancer right now, and he says it's really helping him sleep. So there's something to it. If you get the right formula, you can get there. So that's what's going on in our world. I mean, we've got some, like I said, we've got their autos are coming in pretty quick here. We got about another month on those, and then we've got some photos coming in nicely. We got 2 of them in the flower tent right now. Just got done doing a major defoliation in my veg tent, and so got some first feeds going on them. Seedlings are doing good. We've got some germinations going on. We've got about 18 or 19 clones growing in the nursery right now. And it's just all good. I mean, things are going much better, and the tents are filling up again. I ended up having 2 tents harvest at the same time. So, and it was really bizarre because I had tent number 1 harvested, and literally about 3 or 4 weeks later, tent number 2 and 3 harvested. So I literally had like nothing. So I realized, oh shit, you're gonna have like no plants growing here in a little bit. So I started some seedlings and stuff, some autoflower seedlings, just to get a quick crop in, to get something back in the pipeline, so I wouldn't be running dry here. So I started some purple lemonade and a plant called Purple Stilton that I got from somebody. And they're growing right now. But then I realized, hey, dude, you got to get some more photos going. You got to start getting some clones going again, or you're going to be, out of stuff to do. So I got into my seed bank, and I pulled out a bunch of white widows and some cherry pie and some other stuff, and some vanilla frosting and something called Sour Betty, and I threw those babies in. I've already cloned the white widows and the cherry pies, so we're getting the pipeline filled now. The vanilla frosting and the Sour Betty will be clonable, if that's really a word, in a week or so. I'm waiting for the laterals to grow out. I like to take my clones when I lollipop. So I'm going to throw it, you're going to cut it off anyway. I don't like to take them off the tops. I don't want to slow the plants down any. So I take my clones from the bottom, from the laterals at the bottom that are getting too close to the dirt, and they're a pain in the ass to water around anyway, and you want to lollipop them. So let's get those babies and clone them, and they usually clone very well. So that's what I've been using. And like I said, I've got about 18 or 19 clones right now that have not wilted at all. And I missed them 2 or 3 times a day. They're not in a covered dome or nothing, but they're in kind of a Rubbermaid tub. And I missed them 2 or 3 times a day. And they make sure that the soil is kept damp, completely damp all the time. And they're probably growing some roots down there. I should have used the clear Dixie cups. I don't know why I forget to do that. I always use the red ones. Somebody the other day was like, dude, use the clear ones and you can see the roots. I'm like, oh, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. You know, I mean, I don't know why. I just hadn't thought of it. So I'm going to get some. Oh, yeah. So anyway, you know what? I think we're running out of stuff to talk about here. I really am glad I got a chance to get this project down on video here, though. So we're going to be talking about this a little bit more in the future, and I hope I'm going to get some comments down below later from people who watch this later on. This is something I want to do, and I think it's going to have to be me doing it. So we're going to have to do some work on getting an HPS light and dealing with all that bullshit. So we'll give this a shot. So anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. It's just been, it's been about an hour and 45 minutes now. Not a lot of response, not a lot of people showed up. I didn't really think a lot of people would. I didn't give a lot of notice. But I wanted to get this on video because I wanted to talk about this project. I'm going to call this Project Compare. Project Compare 420. That's what I'm going to call this. Project Compare 420. And we're going to keep you up to date on it as we get further along in it. And we're going to just go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. And it was really cool talking to you, Dave, and seeing you, Huck, and everybody else. Riot showed up. I'm glad to see you, man. It's always cool to see you, man. And we had other people here. We had SOS showed up, and Chronic Care, and Holly, and of course I mentioned Hook. So, Manning Mouth showed up. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. You've been a big support for me. I would have never gotten this far on YouTube and that without all your help throughout the last year. So, Manic, and I'm sorry I missed your birthday the other day, Manic. Shout out to Manic, okay? I want to say shout out to you and happy birthday, man. And I hope things are going good for you. And we'll be talking about Project Compare 420 in the future, I think. And we're going to have to start getting on this here. As soon as my clones are ready, I'm going to have to get ready to do this. Now, what's going to be interesting is I've got to... Okay, so yeah, we'll be thinking about all that in the future. So, anybody got any comments they want to throw below, let me know, and we'll go from there. Talk to you later. Bye. And don't forget to keep taking your medicine. And of course, I got to do my sign off. So, don't forget to keep taking your medicine because this stuff is medicine, folks.